Huge news, guys. Feds cut the rates to zero, and a $700 billion stimulus package was announced as well. Is this too little too late here? And what can you guys do about it? Hey, welcome back to the VIP Financial Education YouTube channel, where we help you go further, faster financially while remaining safe in the process. That's right. So the Federal Reserve announced an abrupt rate cut on Sunday by 100 basis points, down now to 0 to a quarter, which is as low as it can be without going negative at this point. This actually follows the 50 basis point reduction that happened just a couple short weeks ago. In addition to the rate cut, the Fed also announced a $700 billion stimulus to help the economy absorb all of the negative effects that are happening because of the coronavirus outbreak. This stimulus program is something that's really more known as a quantitative easing. It's a way for the Fed to inject money into the economy by purchasing assets. And quantitative easing is really designed to help either grow a sluggish economy or help avoid a recession in this case. And it was a major part actually of the Fed's response to the financial crisis back in 2008. And it's even been credited with significantly helping to mitigate the effects of the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell came out and said that the new lower rate would be kept in place for as long as needed. He said, "We will maintain the rate at this level until we are confident that the economy has weathered recent events and is on track to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals." Sounds like Powell really wanted investors to know that this isn't just going to be a quick rate cut that is going to go away as soon as the outbreak numbers start to subside. President Trump actually urged the Fed to make the nation's interest rates negative, which would mean that borrowers would effectively be paid to take out loans. And that's something that's possible by fees that people and businesses would be having to pay, where they're paying fees in order to deposit money. Europe and Japan have both had mixed success with implementing negative interest rates. Powell also emphasized that negative interest rates currently are not on the table, saying that the Fed doesn't see much such a move actually as being appropriate for the U.S. And shortly following the Fed rate cut to zero, the largest banks in America, including Bank of America, Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, among others, they all announced that they will stop repurchasing their shares and use that money to make loans to customers instead. In a statement, the banks had this to say: "The COVID-19 pandemic is an unprecedented challenge for the world and the global economy, and the largest U.S. banks have an unquestionable ability and commitment to supporting our customers, clients, and the nation." Now, with this rate cut to zero, the Fed no longer really has much of anything else to work with if things do happen to get worse with coronavirus over the coming weeks and months. Fed Chairman Powell tried emphasizing that the U.S. economy was in good shape before the pandemic hit, and that much is still dependent on the spread and effect of COVID-19, saying that the economy is evolving on a daily basis and it's really depending heavily on the spread of the virus. It's clear that panic is really only going to make things worse here, guys. But the intervention by the Fed and other central banks may actually be working to increase that panic. It's hard to say at this point. I will say that layoffs have already begun across the country as large and small businesses see dramatic decreases in sales. The S&P 500 has officially entered bear country as well, following the longest bull market in history. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average remains in bear territory after seeing the fastest 20% drop in U.S. stock market history as well. Now, is this too little too late here? And what can you guys do about it? Well, much of that's going to depend on how we all act during these times. Panic, of course, is going to make things worse, while realistic and strategic forward progress, as I talked about in our last video, which is made by us as individuals, will help to not make it worse. Guys, I just got a text shortly before cutting this video for you that from Mr. Joe McCowan, one of our senior coach advisors here, one of my partners. He is indicating that his sister, who's connected with Key Bank, that there is no panic. A lot of this is just hype from a commercial standpoint, that they're sitting on 40% loan to values. There's a ton of equities to stand behind their lending power, that they're lending more than ever, that they want to lend, that they realize that under current underwriting conditions, if things get worse, it will only further enhance the possibility of a recession. So that's really great news from a coaching standpoint, from a debt weapon acquisition standpoint. Now is the time to really have your ducks in order and make sure that you're playing this game as well as possible. There's no room for error here, folks. Do not mess this up right now. And if you don't, you'll position yourself to be much stronger to take advantage of the many opportunities that are inevitably going to be coming our way over the next few months and possibly even years down the road. So be sure you get on the calendar for a complimentary coaching session. You can get that at freecoachingcalendar.com. Again, freecoachingcalendar.com. I appreciate you sitting here in my car with me while I wait for one of my tenants. We're going to be jumping inside, getting us some countertops for one of my rental properties. It is business as usual here at the VIP Homestead. Hopefully it is on your end as well. I look forward to speaking with you on your coaching session. It will be with me personally, so make sure you claim that at freecoachingcalendar.com. And in the meantime, what do you guys think, and how has the coronavirus impacted you, if at all? I know people around me this weekend were talking about how they lost their jobs. They've closed down all the ski resorts in Colorado, so a lot of the mountain community is reeling at the moment. Pretty discouraging. Have any of you been affected directly? I'd like to hear that. Please drop a comment, and let's keep the conversation going. And in the meantime, let's also make sure we all keep cash flowing. See you on the next one.